I got great news. I have a seller that is willing to offer to buy down your interest rate on the new developments in Grantsburg, Wisconsin. And I just want to thank you, Katie, for taking the time to go through with us and explain how this 2-1 buy down is going to work and how buyers are going to be able to save money on their mortgage.
Yeah, for sure. Well, what an awesome thing for a seller to do. I know as rates have climbed a little bit, this is kind of getting on people's radar a little bit more. We saw that in the fall and in the previous fall. So with rates getting a little bit higher, it's definitely making a comeback and it's worth talking about. So kudos to your seller for just being willing to jump in and take a look at this. I'm going to share my screen here so that we can see what this actually looks like. So this is the 2-1 buy down. So this is the property that we are talking about here in Grantsburg in the development that you're talking about, Jenny. And as you can see here, I have the purchase price of $295 here. I have that 3% down. So if you're a first-time home buyer and you need to put 3% down, there you go. There's your loan amount. And what we do for a 2-1 buy down is basically figure out what the difference is between what today's rate is and what the rate is 2 points lower and then 1 point lower. So if the rate today is 7.125, 2 points lower would be 5.125. Okay, so do you see that, Jenny, there where it's 5.125?
So you're saying that the seller will buy down their interest rate all the way to 5.1% for the whole first year?
Correct. Yep. So the seller is basically making up the difference between what their payment would be. So if you look at years 3 through 30, where the principal and interest payment is $19.27, well, the difference if the rate was 5.125 would be $15.58. So that difference is $369 a month. And we just literally take $369 times it by 12 and stick that in an escrow account. And as the buyer is making payments, that buy down amount is going towards their payment. So that first full year, they're saving $369 a month. And then for year 2, it goes to 1 point lower. So 6.125 with a savings of $189 a month. And their payment would go to $1738 a month. And this is just principal and interest. So this does not include taxes and insurance. So just giving a real true savings on what the principal and interest is every month.
So it looks like they have an opportunity to save about $6,700 in the first 2 years on mortgage payments?
Exactly. Yep. So that is exactly what it is. We just take the payments, we take the savings amount, times it by 12. So it's $6,700 for those first 2 years in savings. And then what the really cool thing is let's say 2 years from now, rates are back to 5.5, 5.75, and the buyer goes to refinance. And let's say that there's still $1,000 in that escrow account. That becomes the buyer's money. So they can use that towards their refinance. They can use that to do whatever they want with those funds.
Oh, that sounds like a really great opportunity for buyers to be able to come in with the seller, willing to buy down this rate for the first 2 years. I mean, It kind of sounds like a win-win. Do you see any negatives in it?
No, not at all. I don't see any negatives with doing these buy downs. I think it's a great chance for a buyer to totally reduce their payment for the first 2 years and then hopefully do a refinance when the time comes right.
Well, that sounds really good. So basically, if anybody is interested in learning how to be able to move forward on purchasing one of these properties, there's currently 4 available to be right around that 5.1% interest rate. You can definitely reach out to me, and we can definitely reach out to Katie too and figure out how to get this going for buyers and get pre-approved.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's a great chance, Jenny. Thank you to your seller to just being creative with this. I think it's awesome. Great opportunity.
All right. Well, thank you so much for explaining this. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Take care.
You too.